So the first thing that I've noticed about this spread might be the same thing that you notice about the spread. It's a glaring, obvious lie that's being told. So there are lies here. So before I get into the reading any further, I just want to be very clear that someone has told a lie. Liar, liar, pants on fire. So you do have the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords in the same spread. And that's never really a great sign when it comes to figuring out a reading or figuring out someone's intention. So unfortunately, you do have the Seven of Swords on top of the Ace of Materials, which in this deck is the Ace of Pentacles. So there might have been some sort of theft in or around your energy. Now, I don't want anyone to get super alarmed here because there might be some other things going on in this reading, but I just want to be very clear that you do have a strong energy of manipulation going on in this reading, a very, very strong energy of manipulation. Along with the Seven of Swords being on top of the Ace of Materials, you have the Magician card in the reverse and another card of material gain or prosperity, which is the Three of Pentacles. And then, of course, you have the Five of Swords here with the Justice card, which would suggest some sort of wrongs being set right. So if you have dealt with a situation where there's some sort of theft, material theft going on in your world, then I just want you to know that somebody will be brought to justice for that theft. Now, if we're not talking about material things here, if someone didn't steal something material from you, then it might be someone who lied about, let's say someone asked you to borrow money, and they gave you a story about why they needed that money. But the story about why they needed that money wasn't 100% truthful. So there was something here about lies to gain some sort of advantage. So even if it's not material, there's some sort of advantage that needed to be gained. And in order to gain that advantage, someone lied. This could be something as simple as lying on a resume. Okay? It could be something as simple as lying on a resume. Now, because you do have the Justice card, and it is the only upright major arcana card in this reading, it would suggest here, the Justice card being in the upright, you do have it on top of the Magician card, and the Magician card is in reverse. And whenever I read the Magician card, specifically with the Seven of Swords, it is indicating some sort of manipulation. So yes, you can say outright lies, but I would more use the term manipulation, because I feel like whoever is the person that's doing the manipulation, in their head, in their mind, and they have a little voice. It's like the little devil on their shoulder saying that this isn't bad. Like I said, like lying on a resume, right? It's almost as if somebody lied on a resume and didn't expect the employer to check the references or call the previous jobs. And they did, and they found out that, in fact, they didn't work at that plant, or they got fired from their last job. And based on that information, a decision is going to be rendered that goes against the person who did the manipulation in order to get the gain. So regardless of what the exact situation is, I don't feel like the person who did the lying or who did the manipulation did it to cause harm. I know that sounds really sympathetic to a liar, but they didn't do it to cause harm. They did it to get an advantage. And in their minds, whatever way they could get that advantage was justified, right? It's justified for me to do this because I need this for my life. Because when people are put in, this is a very flight or fight situation. It is, I am broke, my rent is due, I need money. It reminds me very much of Like the idea of stealing bread, like Les Miserables, right? Was it wrong for the main character to steal bread in order to survive? And some people on the side of justice would say, yes, it's wrong. Starve. Do something else. Do not steal. Whereas the person who's in lack, who's starving, would say, you have abundance of bread. I'm not taking anything from you that's going to hinder your growth or your lifespan or your, if I don't get this bread, I could die. You will be fine. So it's okay for me to steal this bread. So the idea, again, I keep going back to the idea of lying on a resume. Is it really hurting an employer if I say that I had some experience that I didn't have? I need this job. Let me have this job. So in that case, in that sense, you are dealing with someone who, if you're in competition with this person, let's say you two are competing for a promotion, or even if this is a romantic situation in your life, then there's somebody here who you just want to be careful around this person, because this person might be entertaining you to get some sort of advantage. Maybe, I don't know, I think I hear a lot, and I use people, and I'm like, I've seen it a lot. I've seen it a lot happen in relationships where people will move in very quickly with each other without really ever knowing that person. So if you are thinking about cohabitating with another person, I would say be very cautious of this person's intention. And I'm not necessarily saying that this person would not like you if they got to know you, but for some reason there's some sort of putting the pedal to the metal and accelerating things because they're in a bad spot and they need something to get them out of that bad spot. So you are dealing with someone who feels that they have to do whatever they need to do in order to get a small advantage. And I think the biggest, just concerning, outside of the person being, trying to manipulate and lie, it's like moving chess pieces around. I see more as opposed to an outright lie. Like, I'm going to move chess pieces around in order to get the outcome that I need to get because I'm desperate to get that outcome right now. But I think the most concerning part of that scenario is the fact that it's not much of a gain. Like the Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles is not that much of a gain. For some reason, maybe if I pull more cards, and I just want to, just for the sake of, somebody's playing on your emotions. You have a lot of emotional cards here. Normally I don't pull more cards, but I just wanted to see if the Five of Pentacles came out in the spread. But you have a lot of cards of relationships and emotions. So it's somebody you just met, right? And you can't decide if you should trust this person. And I'm going to tell you to use your discernment in regards to this person. But I am 100% telling you that this person is playing on your emotions in order to get something out of you because they feel like they need it. There's something here that they feel like they need. And, what's really kind of crazy is I feel like a lot of people, when they meet new people, if they just were honest about their position or the situation, or maybe this person's embarrassed about what they have going on financially, but if they were honest about it, a lot of people would help someone out that they just met, that they just start talking to. I remember a friend of mine a long time ago had they had their gas cut off in the middle of winter, and she had just been talking to a guy who she had known, she had worked with. They had just started talking romantically, and she was telling him about that situation. And it wasn't dire because she still had her electricity, so she had space heaters, but in the house she didn't have gas. And he offered to pay her gas bill to cut her gas back on in the middle of winter. And she thought that was so sweet and that was so nice. She declined, and she got her gas cut back on that month. But if most people were more honest about their situation, I think people would step up to the plate and help them if it's not an outrageous amount of money. And for some reason, not for some reason, but I'm looking at these cards and it doesn't seem like a huge gain. It doesn't seem like something that's far out or, unreasonable request. But the way that this person is going about it is they're being sneaky instead of being honest about it. And if this is like something along the lines of like a promotion or a job interview, then this is someone playing on someone's, feelings or emotions, or appealing to their emotional side in order to get the promotion or get the job. This is like going into a job interview and not having the qualifications, maybe not being as qualified as the next person or the previous person, but having a really good rapport with the interviewer or the HR person and getting the job based on that really great interaction you had with that person, right? So the person who's more qualified for the job maybe didn't interview all that well, or maybe just was very business professional, didn't get the job with a person who went in and they had a great personality. This almost reminds me of like a personality hire. Like, this person isn't really great at their job, or maybe they are, but it doesn't matter because everyone enjoys their personality, and that's why they got the job. That's why they keep their job, and that's why they got the promotion. Okay, so that is what I'm really picking up here. So you just have to be mindful of people's intentions that are around you right now. I feel like this is a new person. So if you're looking at people who are around you, who have been around you for a very, very long time, just know that I'm not really seeing that this is someone who you have, who you're dialed into, and who you know. You don't have to look at those people. Those people you know. There's someone here who's very new in your energy that you just have to be mindful of the way that they interact with you, because there is some ulterior motive behind how they interact with you. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to cut this person off, because again, I don't see malicious intent. I just see intent for a gain. And I feel like they feel like they've been put in a position where they must behave this way in order to get out of the bad spot that they're in. And maybe you want to confront them. Maybe you want to ask them more questions, because maybe you're not asking the questions. When I saw the 8 of Swords here, is you're not really asking the questions, or the right questions. And if you ask the right questions, you might get the truth out of this person, and you might realize that it's really not that bad. And just, have to tell them, hey, next time, just be honest with me. All right, that is the reading that I have for you. I hope you got some insight from that. I hope the reading helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.